finished it, I'm pretty sure in like 2 days or something ridiculous like that. I read it super duper fast. Didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. Like, it was just like a book that I read and I was like, oh, okay, it's done. Sorry. Because reading makes me really happy, and I hope reading makes you happy. Hey there, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have my August reading wrap-up, which seems so crazy. I feel like this entire year has been moving so fast. Like, I feel like it was just the beginning of August and now we're already in September. Like, I'm sorry, what? Today we're going to be going through all the books that I read in the month of August, and I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you can get some good book recommendations if you haven't read some of these, and if you have read some of them, you know, let's discuss the books in the comment section. So yeah, let's just get right into it. In the month of August, I managed to read 5 books, which is the second highest amount of books I've been able to read this entire year. My highest was 6 books in a month, and I think my lowest was like 1 or 2. I really don't know. I don't know, but I'm very happy with reading 5 books this month, and I'm gonna let you know what those books were. I'm gonna have the breakdown of like the pages, the stats, the genres, if you're interested in what I read in the month. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first book that I read this month was The Housemaid by Freida McFadden, and I rated this book 4 stars out of 5. This is a mystery thriller book. Like, this is completely like a book talk book. It's very popular, but if you don't know what it's about, there's basically this woman who needs to find a job because her past is kind of stopping her from getting like a job, and so she ends up scoring this job being a housemaid to a family, and you know, on the outside, like, it seemed too good to be true, and then you find out if that is the case or not. So that's the best way that I can describe that without spoiling. I really did enjoy this book. Like, I finished it, I'm pretty sure in like 2 days or something ridiculous like that. I read it super duper fast, so it's like really engaging, and I liked the way that Freida McFadden like wrote the book. Like, it was very like I could feel the tension in the story, and I enjoyed that aspect of the whole reading experience. I will say, however, like, I kind of like, you'll get my thoughts on marital mysteries and thrillers a little bit later on in this video, because I read another book of that nature, but it's not my favorite genre. However, I feel like it was handled very well in this, and I don't think that I didn't expect the plot twist that was in this. It was like ridiculously crazy, and just, I was like, oh, and like it's something that makes you like your skin crawl, and so that was like a really good, I like, it's weird to say that it's good, but like, it was done well in my opinion. And I don't know if I'm going to continue the rest of the series, because I thought like this could be a perfect standalone. Like, there's no need for it to have multiple books, but I'm probably going to read the rest of them because I like finishing series, and I enjoyed this enough for me to want to pick up the next one. So yeah, that's as much as I can say without spoiling anything. If you like mystery thrillers, I would definitely check this one out, because like, it has everything. It has, you know, interesting characters, interesting dynamics between said characters. It does have a few cliche aspects to it, but then like in the end it sort of comes together to make this like completely different ending, which I did not see coming at all. Like, it's really good. I actually really enjoyed this. So yeah, definitely check it out. The next book that I read it electronically, and that was Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I rated this book 3 stars out of 5. I read this book in a vlog, so if you want to see my actual like reactions to it as I'm reading it, then go ahead and check that one out. But overall, it was just very much sort of a mid type of book. I didn't really relate to the characters deeply, and I didn't really like care for them that much, and I think that's really important when you're reading a romance book, to find characters that you like really relate to and you care for, and then you want to see their, you know, romance play out, and then you truly care for how things happen. So to me, it was sort of like a middle range type of romance. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. Like, it was just like a book that I read and I was like, oh, okay, it's done. It's done. It's also another book that's relatively popular. It was very popular in the beginnings of book talk, like when The Hating Game was popular, and like it ends with us, people were also reading Get a Life, Chloe Brown. It's about Chloe Brown, who suffers from chronic pain, and a experience in her life causes her to try and change the way that she lives her life, to try and live it to the fullest. And yeah, that includes meeting new people, trying new activities and stuff like that. It's a great book if you're interested in that sort of like vibe, but it wasn't my favorite. Like I wasn't really a big fan of it. But I will say that I really did enjoy the writing of that book, because it reminded me so much of the Magnolia Parks universe, and I love that series. I love that series so much. So yeah, that book reminded me, like, this, it had the same sort of writing style, and so it was very quick to get through. However, the chapters were very long. The chapters were incredibly long, and that was something that also like turned me off of the book. But otherwise, it was a good read. Like I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, it wouldn't be like, if someone asked me, oh hey, like, what's the romance that you would recommend, it probably wouldn't be that one. But like, meh, you know, like, I feel meh about it. That's what a 3-star is. Like, it's neither here nor there. The next book I read, however, sorry, I get giddy when I put myself in, when I talk about these books, but it was Caught Up by Liz Tomford. This is also a book I read in that same vlog, so check it out if you want to see me literally giggling and crying and shedding tears over this book and these characters. But I rated this book 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. I love anything that Liz Tomford writes. I've read the first 2 books in the Mile High, no, it's not the Mile High series, sorry. I've read the first 2 books in the Windy City series. This was also just like, she knows how to write characters that you want to, like, that you fall in love with, and that you cannot wait to see them fall in love. Like, I just, oh my goodness. If you don't know what this book is about, it's actually a romance book that is a part of an interconnected series. So technically you don't have to read all the books in order, but if you want to see like how the different characters come into play in their lives, then I would definitely recommend reading it in order. But this book follows Kai Rhodes, who is a single dad as well as a like professional baseball player. And then we have Miller Montgomery, who is a professional pastry chef, like a very high-end pastry chef. And so you see the way that their lives sort of come together, and you see how a romance might form. And I absolutely loved this. I love the way that Liz Tomford writes, and she makes such beautiful characters that you like really do care about them, and you want to see how their romance sort of plays out. I don't know, there's something I love about single dad romances, and that trope is so beautiful. Just like any sort of single parent romance, I just absolutely love it, because like there are many different factors as to how you guys can be a couple and be together, and there are so many different parts that come to play for you to be in a romantic relationship with somebody else when you have like someone who's dependent on you. So yeah, I just love that aspect. And so yeah, it was just a really good read. I really enjoyed it. I love the banter in this book. I love the friendships, the found family, just the interactions that the characters were having. It was just so beautiful. I absolutely loved it. And yeah, I've loved all the other books in the series. Like, I gave the first book a 4.5 star, and the second book I gave a 5 stars. So this was obviously just going to be such good vibes for me, and I'm so happy that Liz Tomford is like keeping up the good books that she's creating. So it just means that she has to continue writing good books. Like, she has no choice but to continue. So yeah, I'll definitely recommend this book. Oh, just be aware that this does actually have spice in it, and so does Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I forgot to mention that, but they both do have spice, so just be aware of that if that's not something you're interested in. The next book that I read was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, and this was a mystery sort of thriller type of book, and I ended up rating it 2 stars. I really did not like it, purely like mainly because I felt like everything in the book was pretty predictable, and it felt just incredibly long. Like, it was unnecessarily long. Everything was just getting repeated, and we were going around in circles, and I didn't really enjoy that aspect of it. And we follow Nick, I can't remember his last name, but he and his wife moved to like his wife is called Amy. They moved to Nick's hometown, and then his wife goes missing, and Nick has to find his wife. So yeah, if that interests you, then go ahead. But this mystery, like the book really focused a lot on Nick and Amy's like marriage, and I guess maybe just simply because of the time of the life that I'm in right now, that really didn't interest me, and I just wasn't a fan of that being the main focus of the mystery. So if that's something that intrigues you and you really like that type of genre of mystery and thriller, then I would definitely say check it out, because the stuff that happens in this book is rather crazy, but I just really didn't like the way that the book was sort of laid out. And yeah, the writing was rather interesting, but besides that, I really was not enjoying the book, and I just really didn't enjoy it, which was a bummer because I was really excited for it because I wanted to watch the movie, and now I'm less inclined to watch the movie because I didn't like the book. So that was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. The last book that I read in the month of August was Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. This is the 7th book in the Throne of Glass series. This book has some chunk to it, okay? It is 600 pages, like 650 pages. I gave it 4 stars. I'm gonna tell you why without trying to spoil this entire series. So basically, I can't actually tell you what this book is about, but the first book follows an assassin, and if you're intrigued by female assassins and just... If I could get every single one of my friends to read this series, I would, because it's just so like beautifully done, and I just love all the characters and the way that there are so many different parts that come to play. Like things in this book, there were some things in this book that you read about in like book 3 and you're like, oh my, so this is where it comes to play, you know? Like it's just so, like, I love it, and I feel like such a geek when I get to those moments because I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember. Like I see like the amount of planning and like thought that needs to go into creating a fantasy series of this caliber is like so incredibly vast, and I'm like, wow, like I can barely plan what I'm doing for the week. So yeah, in that sense, this book was like really like this book, as well as just like the entire series, is very fantasy heavy, but you do have a lot of like romance in them, and the romances in this book, yeah, I did not expect it, and I was thoroughly surprised. So I loved the romance in this book. Initially I was sort of believed I wouldn't like this book as much as I liked the other books because it follows a set of characters that I wasn't really that interested in from the beginning, but I ended up loving it in the end, and I loved like how things sort of tied up and how things were being found out. And something that Sarah J Maas is really good at doing is writing very strong and confident and dependent female leads, and I just love that. I love that. It doesn't even actually have to be like a lead female, but like just female characters. Like the female characters this woman writes are like, they're so complex and just so like you want to root for them. Like every single one of them you want to root for them. You just absolutely love them, and I thank her time and time again for making me like want to become like a stronger woman and wanting to learn all these new different things. Like I just absolutely love the ability that books have to sort of like change you as a person, and I love being able to see like strong women in power. Like what more else is there to want in life? So yeah, those are like the thoughts that I have on this book that I can say without spoiling, and I just really loved this book. I really loved this book. It didn't get 5 stars because, once again, like I told you, it was characters that I wasn't really that invested in from the beginning. But by the end, I was invested. So yeah, if you're contemplating starting the Throne of Glass series, just do it. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to read it, because I've been reading this series since January. So I've been reading like a Throne of Glass book a month. And it's like worth it. It's so worth it. For the way that this story is going, it's so worth it. And I'm so scared to read the final book. I am horrified. I'm so scared. But I'll let you guys know how that goes. So yeah, that was Tower of Dawn. Those were the books that I read in September? No. Those were the books that I read in August. I hope you enjoyed me yapping about books. I hope you managed to laugh, you managed to, you know, enjoy this video. If you did, you know, so any sort of support would be very much appreciated. And stick around my channel for more content. I don't know if it'll be more bookish content because I am going through a major life change in like the next week, which you guys will be seeing videos on soon. But I love talking about books. I could talk about books for hours on end, but I do not have enough space to talk about books for that long, and I don't even think people would listen to me yap for that long about fictional characters. But yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video. And yeah, oh, I don't even have a TBR for my next month because that's how hectic my life is gonna be. But I do want to put Kingdom of Ash. I do want to read that next month, but I don't know. I think I might be too busy to pick it up. So I'll let you guys know if I do decide on a TBR. But for now, I'm just going to see if I can pick up any book whenever I can pick up a book. And hopefully I'll be able to read next month. Because reading makes me really happy. And I hope reading makes you happy. And if you don't know, pick up a book and maybe find out. Maybe pick up one of the books that I spoke about in this video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!